they fired me, and I was upset because my manager, I'm not going to mention her name, we didn't see eye to eye for a while. But when it came down to it, we were the same type of person in many ways. Like, we like to have fun, we like to get very outspoken, so we butted heads a lot. And she wanted me to be a team leader and team player the whole time, and I never was. So that's why I got in trouble.
You wanted to build. You wanted to either have a partner or something and not report to people, or just report to yourself and go out and start an agency.
To me,
this is why you were doing it.
To me, this is all it was. It was a job that paid me. Mm-hmm. It was free food and fun activities, and it was a stepping stone to whatever I wanted to do next in some way, shape, or form, whether I'm going to go up within the company to their capital team or their investment team or whatever the case might be, or me starting my own thing. I had very much already thought about starting my own agency. And so I wasn't a team player. I didn't have it until early the year I got fired. So I was a month in of doing this.
Right. So, but you at least had it when it went down.
Yeah. I didn't even have a website, a domain, a brand or anything yet, But yeah, so she was like, I want you to get more involved. And the reason she was saying that is because people in the team looked up to me because my numbers, I was always top 5 in the nation in terms of sales for a small business team.
Oh, so you weren't just doing customer support. You were going out and actually, because you said you were upselling, but is that the only type of sales, or were you also cold calling in sales?
It was just upselling. So everybody thought this was so hard, and I was like, guys, this is so easy.
Yeah.
I would put in the bare minimum, but I was always first or second in terms of conversations had to upsells had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, they're already spending money with us. This is the easiest sell ever.
It's not hard. Yeah.
And all I'd say was what would be really cool?
The most amazing thing you've ever seen.
I was like, dude, have you ever seen a YouTube video? I was like, imagine if this person was about to watch this YouTube video and your video showed up right before. They're literally looking for how to fix their plumbing and your video shows up right before them. Hey, I'm Mr. B's Plumbing. He'd be like, that's such a good idea. I'm like, dude, and you can target it within a 2-mile radius of your business.
Oh, so you were selling a lot of YouTube
with the call
stuff
to action.
too.
I was pushing YouTube hard.
Wow.
And Google was pushing YouTube hard, and you would get bonus points for pushing YouTube. So I was like, I YouTube all day.
And they bought YouTube way back, right? 07, 08, something like that?
06, I think.
Yeah, so they bought it at the beginning.
Yeah.
So they've had it the whole time.
Dude, it was $1 billion or $2 billion. What a steal.
Now, seriously, there's actually a quote about that, and I'm going to paraphrase because I'm not reading it, but the guy Eric Schmidt, who was CEO at the time, some reporter asked him, Eric, do you think you got a fair deal? And I guess he was the kind of guy, I've heard this from people who have at least been around him, he was a really kind of gruff, to the point kind of dude, and he was just that's a really dumb question, or said something like that, and he goes, either we just overpaid the out of this company, or we just got the greatest deal of all time, and they're the dumbest people of all time for selling this to us. And it's so you look at any deal, that's generally you rarely see any business deal, regardless of size, that turns out to be that was kind of stayed the same, right? It's either you get something that becomes a liability, or you get something that becomes an enormous asset, and the guy that sold it never should have.
You never know right away. It's always a risk.
Yeah, exactly. But they really, hindsight is 20/20 on that, but I feel because I remember as a kid when I first saw YouTube, the first year it was out, you go from having to turn on the TV to I'm on my laptop, I type something in, even when they had a smaller library because there were less creators, it's how does this not make sense?
I think it took Google way too long to figure out YouTube.
How so?
Look at the they're doing now.
What do you mean?
They copy everybody. The feeds, the suggestions, the categorizations, the keywords.
Who are they copying specifically?
Facebook, now TikTok. Google is the biggest, worst marketing company. You don't remember any Google ads that you've ever seen in terms of their own marketing for themselves. They're not creative. They're not funny. They try to copy everybody out. Google sucks at their own marketing. If they didn't have the search engine, they'd be a company. The search engine is literally Mother Goose that supplies all other endeavors that hemorrhage cash for years and years.
Right.
Google Glass, like Google Space, like all these other dumb they want to do that may or may not be good ideas. They just hemorrhage cash for a while. And in YouTube, man, they should have monetized that hard long ago. YouTube is one of the best things ever created. Everything I know how to do right now, I'd say 90% of it is because of YouTube. It's because of other individuals who have figured something out, not from YouTube or maybe from YouTube, that I now know how to learn and do from them. Search engine optimization, fixing a new iPhone, whatever the case might be, I've learned it on YouTube.
Okay, there's a lot to pick off here. I want to touch all this.
Yeah.
So, bookmark YouTube's copying stuff, because I'm going to forget that, but I want to come back to that.
Yeah.
Because we could talk a lot about that. There's a few things I'm thinking of. Google as a whole, though, when you say that they're not a good marketing company of themselves, a couple things. Number one, they own the center of the internet.
Yep.
Right? And they have the power of people's minds go straight to the verb. I'm going to Google it.
Yep.
Right? So
essentially a monopoly.
Yeah. So in a way, being at the center of the actual brain, let's call it, make the internet a brain, being at the center of it, they don't need to market the usage. It's already there.
Right.
But
it's like one of those things, all you could do is it up at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%. Like the biggest example of that of all time. But I kind of understand what you're saying when you're talking about like them communicating their message beyond just the search bar. You know, so like communicating, hey, you can do this here through us. You know, people assume things like Gmail now because, again, it's through Google. Like they couldn't it up.
Yeah.
But it's not like, I wonder how much they really cost themselves, because they're still printing money. But like, I wonder how much they cost themselves just because they don't really do much outside of the simplicity of the center of the whole thing. Does that make sense? It's kind of complicated how to say that. But
if they were good at marketing, they could own everything. Think about that.
Do they own everything though? In a way, when you really think about it, they do own video, like long form video through YouTube. They don't own short form anymore. We'll get to that. But they do own the search as well. They do own how businesses locally do business.
They own search. That's all they own.
What about email? They basically own that. What about Drive, the cloud? I mean, there is OneDrive, there's Dropbox, there's some other ones, but like Google Drive.
Their search market share, if you include YouTube, is over 90%.
Sure, yes.
Their email, I believe, is less than 50%. Their cloud, I believe, is less than 50%. But think about it. If you own search, which is the first touch point, and you own 90% of it, why do you not own the biggest real estate search and portfolio like type of company instead of Zillow? Like, why do you not? You see what I'm getting at with this? You could own everything because you control the algorithm.
Do they own Waze?
They own Waze, yeah.
Okay.
So they bought that from an Israeli company, yeah.
Right.
Which I don't know if I'm a huge fan of.
Why not?
I think they should get a lawsuit over Waze. They have too many pop-ups coming up. Like if you use Waze and you see all these pop-ups, because they try to integrate their ads into that, because I don't think they're a good marketing company. And they have an ad pop up when I'm trying to take a turn. I can't see it, so I click onto the screen and I'm driving wrong.
Oh, I never, because I don't use Waze. I've never used it. I use Google Maps, and I at least don't see that. Maybe I'm not paying attention, but
it took them forever to realize how to monetize YouTube correctly.
And why? Like, how so? Because I want
YouTube.
Yeah, like what were they doing? I don't even remember.
It took them so long just to figure out search on YouTube could be a good sense of ads. Like we still have
correlation.
We still have the organic coming up, and then I click on the video, and then it's a pre-roll ad because they're thinking television. We're going to show you the ad on TV before you watch your TV, instead of like, oh, why don't we monopolize search ads on YouTube with some extra opportunity once they click, and then they have the banner pop-ups on YouTube. I think they need to get rid of that completely. That's just a mess Like
they're awful.
Yeah.
They're so, like, especially on the phone. Holy shit. Man.
Nobody ever clicks that because they have a direct interest in clicking that.
Banner ads, period. And I won't even speak for Google's homepage, like the actual search, which is the one place where sometimes that can still kind of work because of the simplicity of how they put it up, by the way. Like the white back screen, everything. But like, who the clicks banner ads on anything?
I don't know. The best thing about YouTube ads compared to anything else is you've got to wait 5 seconds to skip it. That's one of the best things I've ever seen.
I should have known this answer too, because I'm on YouTube, but I'm like, I haven't paid the closest attention to all the monetization details because I've been building to drive traction to Apple and Spotify, and now also YouTube. I've turned it towards that.
Yeah.
But like when I look at my monetization, one of the questions I've been asking over the last couple weeks, just like trying to figure out the numbers because now I am looking at it. When people hit that skip, I see online a lot of people say like you get nothing for that. But then sometimes other people are saying like, no, you get something for that. And I'm thinking to myself, how's that value to the advertiser? Someone just hit the actual button, like because they got 5 seconds in front of you.
Yeah.
Because you kind of remember what the brand was, maybe.
So
I'm not talking about the ones that are 6-second ads that they automatically play the whole thing. That's different.
So think about it. You think Facebook's not getting the money for whenever you're scrolling on your Instagram feed and a little video pops up that you skip immediately? Right. Yeah, they're getting paid for that.
That's crazy, man.
But we get a whole extra 5 seconds than you did, Instagram.
Yeah.
You have 5 seconds to catch somebody's attention. You're a small business owner. I'll help you rank at the top of Google. Don't trust me? Try me for free. Like, boom. Just like hit them. You got 5 seconds to get someone's attention. Like, no one else has that except for TV, where I changed the channel.